everyone, I am Annika and today I'm answering the question I get very often. Which Kreg jig to buy? I mean, there are so many different models that look completely different and they range from $20 all the way up to over $400. So which is the right Kreg jig for you? Let's get to that answer. So before we get started, let's quickly talk about what is a Kreg jig. If you are new to pocket holes, a Kreg jig is a jig that is specifically designed to make those pocket holes, which is basically a hole that is made at a 15-degree angle. And this helps insert the screw at an angle, which in turn creates a stronger bond than if the screw was going in at a 90-degree angle. Now, any Kreg jig you purchase is going to come with a few things. It's going to come with the jig itself, but it will also come with a pocket hole drill bit, which is a special drill bit with the tip to help make pocket holes. Plus, it has a depth collar that helps you set the thickness of the material. It comes with a square drive bit because that's what you need to drive pocket hole screws. It also comes with a thickness gauge, which also doubles as a hex wrench for the drill bit collar. The basic way that pocket hole jigs work is exactly the same. You want to measure the thickness of the board that you want to make the pocket holes in. You want to set your pocket hole jig to that thickness, and you want to also set your drill bit depth collar to the thickness of the material. And that's it, you just make your pocket holes. I have a very detailed video course that walks you through step by step on how to use a pocket hole jig and how to be successful with it and troubleshoot and everything you need to know about pocket holes. And I will add a link to that below. Now let's figure out which is the right Kreg jig for you. Now, all of the Kreg jig models are very beginner friendly and user friendly, and we will get into all of the features and details in just a little bit. But one thing that all of these do is they make pocket holes. However, as you go up from the $20 piece to the $150 model, what changes is that the ease of use increases, the efficiency increases, the number of features available to you increase, and the versatility increases as well. But before we talk about all of that, there are a few questions that you want to find the answers to that will help you make your decision when we get to the end of this video. So first up, how often will you be using it? Even if you are a hobby woodworker, are you going to be using exclusively pocket holes for all of your joinery? Or are you just going to use pocket holes on an occasional basis in your projects? If you do use pocket holes regularly, you want to get a pocket hole jig that is easy to set up so that you can knock out those pocket holes really quickly. If you are going to be using them occasionally, you can get away with a simple pocket hole jig that might take you a little bit time to set up, but it does the job and you don't have to put in the investment. Second, where will you be using it? Do you have a dedicated workbench or work surface where you can clamp the pocket hole jig onto? Or are you going to be using it in your driveway or an apartment? Do you have enough space to store it? And thirdly, you want to think about if you're going to be using dimensional boards more often, or are you going to be using panels and plywood for a majority of the time, because then you want a Kreg jig that can be easily used on large sheets of plywood as well. Now, don't let all of these questions intimidate you, because we're going to go into details with each of these Kreg jigs, and as we go through it, I will talk to you more about how you can make a decision on which Kreg jig you need. Okay, so let's talk about the models that are available for a Kreg jig. This is the K4. Kreg obsoleted the K4 and the K5 last year, so you can't really buy them anymore. What is available in the market right now is the Kreg 320, the Kreg 520, and the Kreg 720. There are also a few other versions of Kreg jig like the HD, the Mini, and the Micro, and they just help you make pocket holes in thicker or thinner material, and they're more specialized pocket hole jigs. There is a Kreg R3, which is a $20 jig, which is a very small jig. In my opinion, if you are spending the money, I think a Kreg 320 is something that you should start with. Also, there is a Kreg Foreman, which is a very high-end machine. It retails for over $400. So if you're building with pocket holes professionally and using it all the time, that is great, but it is overkill for most hobby woodworkers. Like I said, each of these models makes pocket holes with varying degree of ease of use and efficiency. And in general, as you go up in price, the efficiency and the features go up. So let's dive into each of these Kreg jigs. Let's start with the Kreg 320. Among all of the pocket hole jigs, the Kreg 320 is the smallest pocket hole jig. It is also the most budget-friendly at about $40 as of today. It is quick to set up, easy to move around, and easy to store. It comes in this little box. How it works is that you set the jig to the material thickness using the movable tabs behind the jig. You clamp the jig onto the workpiece. Then you set the drill bit depth collar to the thickness of the material and you make the holes. I have a full detailed video on how to use the Kreg 320 if you want to check that out. So who is this best for? I think it's great for beginners who are just starting out and you're not sure if you want to invest into a pocket hole jig. It's a great starting point. And it is great for furniture repair because you can easily clamp this into any piece of furniture you like and make those pocket holes. So let's talk about my favorite features of the Kreg 320. The drill guide and the spacers can be easily twisted apart to form either a single drill guide or to help you vary the spacing between pocket holes depending on the width of your material. You can easily clamp it onto angled stock to make pocket holes. It can be used for furniture repairs or if you forget to make pocket holes in any part of your project. It is also great to make pocket holes on plywood because you can easily simply clamp this onto your sheet of plywood. And since you can take this apart, Kreg actually sells these spacers so you can easily customize and vary the spacing of your pocket holes on your boards. Now for the drawbacks. It does need an additional clamp to be able to clamp the pocket hole jig onto the material. Face clamps work the best, but it can also be a little time consuming to make the pocket holes because you have to set it up, clamp it, make a pocket hole, remove the clamp, move it and clamp again and make more pocket holes. It can just get a little time consuming if you are dealing with a lot of pocket holes in your project. Also, it lays horizontally on your work surface, so it can be a little hard to drill into at times. So overall, this is a great beginner jig. If you're just starting out and you don't want to commit to a larger jig, I highly recommend this. And of course, if you do a lot of furniture repair, you probably want to get one of these as well. Let's talk about the Kreg 520. As you can see, this is pretty compact in size. It's a mid-range price Kreg jig at about $100. It is portable, but you can also clamp it to your work surface and make those pocket holes. It's pretty lightweight. It has preset thicknesses right here for the most commonly used board thicknesses, and it also has preset hole spacings. Plus, you can get a pro package that you can purchase separately that adds even more functionality to this Kreg jig. We'll touch on that really quickly in a little bit. Now, how it works is pretty straightforward. You set the drill guide to the thickness of the workpiece. Then you clamp the workpiece into the jig, set the drill bit depth collar to the thickness of the material, and make your holes. I have a full video tutorial on how to use the Kreg 520, so you can check that out if you're interested. So who is this for? I think this is the perfect starter jig for beginner woodworkers who have just discovered woodworking and can't wait to knock out all of those projects. It is light and compact and easy to store, so if you don't have a big shop or if you live in an apartment, this is great. And it does have a whole bunch of features that make it easy to use as well. I think this is a great jig that will grow with you over time. So let's talk about my favorite features of this pocket hole jig. It can be used in the horizontal or the vertical position. The vertical position is great for making pocket holes in boards, and the horizontal position makes it easy to drill pocket holes into the plywood or large panels. The quick release clamp makes it efficient to quickly make pocket holes in multiple workpieces at the same thickness. And the rotating handle is also a cool feature because you can easily rotate this handle to the most comfortable position while you're making the pocket holes. The drawbacks: you can only make pocket holes in these predetermined thicknesses. And there is no capability for dust collection. Now, there are accessories that you can buy that take your Kreg 520 to another level. One of them is the pocket hole jig clamp, which basically helps you clamp your pocket hole jig to a workbench and turn it into a workbench top pocket hole jig, so you can make quick pocket holes. You can also buy a docking station to use on top of a workbench, which basically help you make pocket holes in larger boards by supporting it. You also get a material stop, and these are great storage boxes as well. Again, I go into all the details of the docking station and the Kreg 520 in my video where I showed you how to use the Kreg 520. Let's talk about the Kreg 720. The Kreg 720 is the largest of the three jigs that we just talked about. It is a higher end in the price, about $150. It is a benchtop jig, but it can be moved around if you needed it to. You can use it in the horizontal position or the vertical position. My favorite feature is that it auto adjusts to the thickness of the material. It has markings on the back where you can pick any non-standard material thicknesses to adjust your drill bit color. It does have storage for your drill bit as well as your driver bit, so you are not losing them all the time. And it can also cut pocket hole plugs with a separate pocket hole plug cutter attachment. How does this work? You basically clamp your workpiece into the jig. You don't have to set the material thickness. You set the drill bit depth collar to the material thickness and you make your holes. That's right, you don't have to set up the material thickness on your pocket hole jig. And as with all the other pocket hole jigs, I have a full detailed tutorial video on how to use the Kreg 720, so be sure to check that out. So who is this best for? I think it is great for woodworkers who use pocket holes in a lot of their projects, who are also looking to expand to using other non-standard sized boards, who have plenty of workspace in their workshops to be able to clamp it and use it, and are looking for a jig to use long term. Let's talk about my favorite features. The auto-adjusting jig height is definitely my favorite. It automatically adjusts to the thickness of the material, and you can easily switch between different thickness materials without making any adjustments to the drill guide. The dust port is another great addition. You can easily hook up your shop vac and remove wood chips as you make the pocket holes. This not only keeps your work surface clean, it also helps create cleaner pocket holes. The vertical and the horizontal configuration is absolutely amazing. You can use it vertical for boards, or you can use it horizontally for large panels or plywood. And the onboard bit storage. I mean, I used to spend an embarrassing amount of time trying to find my drill bit for my pocket hole jig. So what are the drawbacks? Number one is the size. It's pretty bulky compared to the other jigs, and it's pretty heavy as well. So it does take up a bit of space on your shelf for storage. It cannot be used for furniture repair, and it is a bit more expensive than the other jigs. And just like the Kreg 520, the Kreg 720 also comes with additional accessories that you can buy, like the docking station, the micro drill guide, the plug cutter guide, and I go into all of those details in my video on how to use the Kreg 720. So now that we have talked about all of these three jigs, all their features, their drawbacks, their application, which one is right for you? Well, that does come down to the answer to the questions that I asked early on in the video. Where are you going to use it? How are you going to use it? How often are you going to use it? And what are you going to use it for? Now, if you are someone who is going to be using pocket holes to repair furniture very often, then the Kreg 320 is a no-brainer. But if you are a beginner woodworker who is just starting out, or if you are a woodworker who builds with a lot of advanced joinery but wants to have a pocket hole jig in their toolbox for the occasional pocket hole that they might make, the Kreg 520 is the perfect choice. On the other hand, if you are building with pocket holes a lot, if a Kreg 720 is within your budget, then I highly recommend getting the Kreg 720. It is super easy to set up, it's super easy to use, it has the dust board, it has all the variable thicknesses that you can use, so this is something that will last you really long term. So I hope I have helped you clarify the differences between each of these pocket hole jigs and helped you find an answer. If you have any questions, if there is something that you would like to know about these jigs, something that I did not touch on, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. And like I mentioned, I have a whole bunch of resources on my website about pocket holes, so be sure to check that out. And I have my video course, step-by-step detailed video course on all things pocket holes. So if you are starting out, if you're getting started with pocket holes, that is something that you don't want to miss. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with another video very soon.